Hey y'all, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Bodice Tipplers.
The podcast where we read all the books we used to steal off our grandmother's nightstands.
And then we drink about it.
In this episode, we read Jayne and Krentz's Ghost of a Chance. There is no non-consensual sex in this book. However, there is a lot of controlling behavior. There's a lot of emotional manipulation. If you have ever been in a situation which is emotionally abusive, this is not a book that you want to read or listen to. In books that we've read in the past, there's been a fantasy element to this. This is a little more contemporary. The woman is not like up to the nines, so you might want to give this a miss if you are concerned about listening to that kind of thing. If you're fine listening to us talk about it, great. Don't read the book. That is not your jam.
Okay. Usually I'm trying to have a fun little bit to do with this one, but we're going to talk about catfishing for a moment. I've never been catfished. Have you been catfished?
No.
Well, I was kind of wondered. I knew a girl in college, she got catfished. So, she was in a relationship with a guy that she met on a chat room, and it turned out to be a girl. But
that's completely the opposite of what you would expect.
They ended up having a wonderful 6-month relationship. So even that catfishing turned out to be positive. Good for them. At 40 years old, around Halloween time, 2019, Courtney finally got catfished.
Oh.
It was due to happen. So, the book that we read, Jayne Krentz's Ghost of a Chance, on paper, sounds like the all-time Courtney jam.
So money.
It had all the things that I love in it. All of it. Capers, ghosts, fake ghosts, real ghosts, a cat burglar, people getting hit by cars, spies. I love spies. I love them so much.
I know.
Real genius, Spies Are Us, all of them. Just give me a spy versus spy.
Oh,
the Man from U.N.C.L.E., all that shit. So Courtney was so excited by Ghost of a Chance. And then she read Ghost of a Chance.
Garbage.
And I now understand kind of that humiliation, the being let down, all of that shit that goes along with being catfished. So...
But unlike other people, we're going to put this on tape.
We're going to put my catfishing on tape. So if you've ever wondered what it's like to be one of those people on MTV's Catfish...
We're not burying this shit. No. We're going to give it to you. We're going to serve it up, and you're going to suck it off the bones,
You're going to feel the emotional turmoil that I have felt with this book. Because this book, which should have been hot nonsense, just turned into garbage nonsense.
I recommend salt and pepper on that catfish.
So bad. So this is a book written by Jayne Krentz.
Oh, first, what are we drinking?
Oh.
Because we're going to have to for this one.
We are drinking, I didn't pick anything out for this book because it didn't deserve anything picked out for it. It did not deserve any more of my, mental just thinking about, nothing. I was done. So I got one that looked fun called Happy Prohibition. Actually, it's King's Prohibition. It's got an Al Capone name on it. I was like, this looks sort of fun.
And it's a cute shape, too.
Yeah, it was a different shaped bottle. I liked it. I saw plenty of wines that would go with this book, but I said, no, you don't get anything else from me. Nothing.
Well, I had a hard time, because I went to Morganelli's. Morganelli's, we don't buy any of those, crappy Halloween-themed wines because we're too good for you. Morganelli's where I, on the routine, buy a box of wine. So what I got was Rascal, which is a way too nice of a word for this guy. He's not a rascal because a rascal is, but it's got a dog with a halo on it, so the dog is dead, which makes it thematic, right?
Yeah.
Although maybe he's just a really good boy who, when he dies, will be an angel.
This is very true.
I don't want to,
Don't be killing dogs that aren't dead.
Yes.
All right, so we read Ghost of a Chance, Jayne Krentz. Courtney's riding the ship again that she's already taken off course because she's so angry. So this was written in 1984, and this is part of the Harlequin Temptation series. Again, Courtney got super excited because the favorite book that we've read so far was A Harlequin Temptation.
And you know there's going to be fucking in those.
Yeah, I was very excited. So Jayne Krentz started life out actually as a librarian. She worked at Duke. She worked in academic libraries and just decided to writing the stories that she thought of in her head. Her first book came out in 1979 called Gentle Pirate. And she's kind of one of the first people to really do any kind of sci-fi or paranormal romance.
I was really excited about it for that reason.
So she did this one, and she had a couple of others. She wrote in 1986 one called Sweet Starfire, which is a futuristic romance. And she just kind of combined the elements of romance and science fiction. She has a lot of different pseudonyms that she writes under.
I always forget that she's Amanda Quick, too.
Yeah, she's Amanda Quick. Amanda Quick is more kind of humorous historical romance. So she's a big name in the romance world, and I've decided not to judge based on this book because I have a lot of feelings that are deeply intense about this book. So...
yeah. Well, before, let's talk about what else we're reading, because we hated this book, but what books did we love, right? Yeah. I just finished Good Talk, which is a graphic novel memoir by Mira Jacob, and it's fantastic. It's funny, and it's sweet, and it's about, the author and the conversations that she has. She is Indian American, and her husband is white, and they have a biracial son. And the questions that her son asks her now, because life has gotten a lot more fucking complicated lately. Is daddy scared of us? But it's funny, but it's also, it's really heartwarming and terrifying and all these things. And it absolutely nails what it's like to have a little kid. And I highly recommend it. You'll read it on your lunch break. It's delightful.
I started Busy Phillips's memoir called This Will Only Hurt a Little Bit, or This Will Only Hurt a Little. Busy Phillips was in Freaks and Geeks. She's a television actress, been in movies. Also, she's really, really well known for her Instagram and her Instagram stories. So the book is basically just an extension of her Instagram. She's one of those people that you follow on social media because you feel like, somehow you're friends.
She's hashtag relatable.
Yeah, so
she looks like a normal person. That's why I like her.
I've started her book, and it's been very enjoyable. So This Will Only Hurt a Little, Busy Phillips.
All right. So you were about to tell us about the author? Or did you already tell us? You said librarian.
No, we've already talked about her.
I'm sorry. I've got a list here. The book cover is fucking amazing. I can't stop looking at it. It's absolutely insane. It's on our website, of course, GladysTiplers.com, and you should take a look at it because it's there's a girl with insane eyeshadow, and she's got her shirt tied up to a midriff top, and Robert Forster is licking her belly button, and then there's a lady with a crazy fucking perm and a I Dissent Ruth Bader Ginsburg collar in the inset.
He's also serving that sweet Lands End crew neck sweater look.
He looks
that is that exact sweater because my mom used to buy me those sweaters in the 80s. I had so many of that color Lands End sweater. I know it. I know it inside.
It's oatmeal heather.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he looks like a real dude, which is not what I want in a romance novel. I don't want a real dude.
No.
He's a ex-CIA agent, turning possibly private investigator.
He looks like a sitcom dad.
But he looks like the kind of guy who is an actual private eye. Not Sam Spade and not a hot dude, but a real one. And nobody fucking wants that.
No, it's...
But the lady on the inset, I can't figure out if she's the ghost. There's also a ghost hunter in this that she could be. Or if she's the protagonist. But she doesn't look like any of these people. She looks like she wandered in from somewhere else, and she literally can't figure out where she is.
She got trapped in this book like the rest of us. That's what it is. That's my soul trying to get out. That's why I look upset, because holy shit.
The look on her face is about right.
Yeah, yes. I'm what the fuck? How did I get in here, and why am I wearing this dicky bow? Why? What is happening?
Yeah, she's got that taupe suit jacket.
Yeah,
and it's got shoulder pads. Yeah.
So again, this book on paper should have been Courtney's catnip. The things that I love. People with stupid names. Our hero is named Julian Aries. Our heroine's name is Anne Sterling. She's got
Silver.
Or Anne Silver. She's got, a precious metal or a metal in her name. We've got fake ghost hunters that are actually in a cat burglary ring. We've got people going to ridiculous houses that have theme rooms. My all-time favorite trope in the world is spy, assassin, and plucky, like, lady that gets sucked into it. Like, all of the things that I used to watch growing up really kind of lended myself to this. Like, American Dreamer with Jo Beth Williams. She wants to be a writer. She enters a writing contest for a murder mystery. She goes to Paris against her husband's wishes, gets like a knock on the head and thinks she's in the book, or like she thinks she's the main protagonist of her favorite series. Like, those kind of things I love. So I was fully expecting that. I was fully expecting this to be lighthearted and fun and silly, and that is not what happened.
I personally adore any time that there are, like, hoax ghost people and then a real ghost.
Yes, like, it's the best thing. Like,
that's my favorite thing,
a caper type thing. Like, I love a caper. I do. I just hated this book so much.
Well, let me read the back cover so you have an idea of what this is advertised to you as. Like, first of all, you pick it up, and it has that amazing front cover. It's Harlequin Temptation 34. Cost you $1.95, and I want my $1.95 back. And on the back, you turn it over, and it's, once he'd almost been her lover. Asking a favor of Julian Aries wouldn't be easy, Anne Silver knew. Months earlier, they'd parted on no uncertain terms. Now she fervently needed the handsome ex-agent's help to trap some fake psychic investigators. Grudgingly, Julian listened to her plan and promptly took complete charge, much to Anne's chagrin. Working side by side, the specter of desire rose once more between them. That is a really weird sentence construction. Anyway, Anne found herself haunted by ghosts, both real and imaginary, and a love that had never died.
So I guess, too, before I jump in this, I should tell you guys what the bestsellers were. You guys have to bear with us because we're trying, like, slightly new formats, so we sound like idiots right now because we're like, what goes here? I don't know. So, like, give us a couple more episodes, and
we also have these borrowed microphones, and so I don't even know if any of this is getting recorded.
No, like, we'll get back to our more conversational style once we know how we're putting this in.
Yes.
All right, so the bestsellers in 1984 were Pet Sematary, The Aquitaine Progression.
Oh, God, that's one of those Robert Lundgren ones.
Yep. Full Circle by Danielle Steele. And then The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub.
I'm dying to see if we ever do one of these where there is not a Danielle Steele in the bestsellers.
Yeah, no. So, all right, this book opens up with Anne Silver at a remote cabin in Colorado. Now, before I even get into this, I have to tell y'all that Jayne Krentz uses the word ghost 5 times on the first page. And the first page is one of those, like, one little, like, paragraph pages. It's not like a whole big first page. Ghost. Like, she is driving home her symbolism for, like, their relationship and ghosts. And I was like, all right, ladies, like, take it down.
There's actually a point later on in this where she tells him, I saw an actual, real, no fucking shitting specter from the grave ghost. And he's like, so did I, and it was you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the kind of fucking book this is.
Okay, so Anne Silver knocks on the door. Julian Aries opens. He's described, again, as looking like Robert Forster, but with tawny eyes. She keeps using the word tawny for his eyes.
Well, she keeps, like, using these lion metaphors.
Yeah.
It's a trapped beast in a cage.
So, they haven't seen each other in 6 months. So, second chance romance, yay. Anne is 31, Julian is 40. So I was like, all right, we got grown-ups.
Yes.
Again, I'm still on the first page, so I don't know the bullshit that's about to come my way.
I read it second, so I had gotten, like, a text storm already. But still, I was like, okay, this is all right. And they get right to it. It's got a real strong opening. It's action-y.
So Anne comes to find him, and they're rehashing the fight that they have 6 months ago, and you don't really know what this is about yet. He, from the jump, tells her that she is acting hysterically. So she notices that he has, like, a limp, and that he's hitting the brandy pretty hard. They're always drinking brandy in these Harlequin books. So it's like,
and he's also got a facial scar.
Yeah, he's got a scar. So,
which is usually my jam, by the way, also. But no.
All right, so they have, like, this history about Anne's brother. Julian got, like, so Julian, you find out later, because I'm not going to rehash all of it. So, Anne's brother is a journalist, and he and Julian were working on a case going to this mystery island. Anne didn't want the brother to go, but the brother was like, I'm a journalist, you can't tell me what to do. So he teams up with the CIA agent, and they go to this island, and the brother gets shot. So Anne freaks out and blames Julian.
It occurs to me, I did not think about this when I was reading the book. Was Julian actually a CIA agent when this happened?
Yes.
Okay, so wait, the CIA agent took a journalist.
He's not a very good CIA.
What? Like on his off time? Like did he take PTO or was this part of his job?
I think it was part of his job. So, okay. So that's kind of the beef that they have. They knew, like, they met each other for about a week while the brother and Julian were setting all of these things up. So they didn't know, like, you feel like they knew each other for years.
No.
But then you find out later that these two motherfuckers only knew each other for a week.
Also, it's only been 6 months and they act like it was years ago. It was like a decade ago. No, it was like fucking yesterday.
So, okay. Oh my god. So it's crazy, this book. Like, there are a lot of, like, little telling things that happen. So Anne is talking about how when her brother got shot, she had a major, like, upset reaction and slaps Julian, and then she makes a remark in it about how he showed restraint by not hitting her back. And this is, like, the first of a lot of really, really upsetting conversations that they have.
Like, if you're looking for it, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and even if you're not, it's like, oh my god.
But I mean, especially if you, like, once you twig to, like, like, if you're looking for signs of an incredibly abusive relationship, they turn up all over the place.
So, okay, so Michael, the brother, recently has been on the trail of these fake Ghostbusters that go to rich people's houses and have seance, and really what they're doing is, like, casing the joint to have, like, a burglary later.
But way later. See, they have a good plan. I like their business model. Like, they wait several months, and they take, like, they're obviously very knowledgeable about art, although art's hard to fence, so I don't know, and jewelry, and so it's, like, this whole cat burglar thing. This part is fire.
So, Michael gets too close to the truth, and he gets run over by a car. Again, you're putting shit in here that, like, I eat up. I'm like, yes. I'm like, we got car chases, all this stuff. So Anne asks Julian for help, and he says no. And so she's snowed in the cabin. She can't leave.
I love getting snowed in with a dude. Like,
and so, like, Julian's getting stranger and stranger as it goes on. She's like, you're drunk. And he's like, leave me alone. You don't know.
Is it hot in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, some of the amazing things that are described. So, like, she gets snowed in. He kisses her. We get a description of her tortoiseshell hair clip.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I'm here for this.
Yes.
So, some ravishing happens.
Well, okay, she definitely says yes, but she said no to the kiss. But she was definitely down with the fucking. So, it was technically...
So, like, there's...
But it was gross.
On page 30, there is fucking.
Yes.
But, like, you don't know what's going on because Julian is acting super weird. Like, you're like, is he drunk? Is he imagining this? It happens, but it happens feverishly. Again, there's lots of allusions to ghosts of the past, ghost lady, phantoms. And I'm like, you guys knew each other a week. So again, page 30, they're banging. Julian, like, basically nails Anne and then passes the fuck out.
Yeah. Like, he falls into, like,
he has a fever.
Yeah.
And again, this is, like, on page 31. So...
Not raving, all right? Let's put it that way. It's just...
So, the banging happens. Anne decides to take care of him because he's got a fever. When he wakes up, she lies about the banging.
Which is weird.
And I was like, that's kind of dirty pool, Anne.
Yeah,
like,
you can't do that.
So...
But luckily, she scratched the hell out of his back, so he has proof.
So, Julian has some sort of romance novel malaria that he picked up on the mysterious island where Michael got shot.
It's like the Ivory Key, where she went to a place that doesn't exist on a continent that does exist. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
She is still lying to him about sex. So, this book has the all-time grossest sentence that we have had in any of our novels. A woman who was cautious around a man was subtly acknowledging his power.
As opposed to, that's true, because she's fucking scared of you.
You know what, though? Like,
that's not hot.
When I'm cautious of a man, a lot of times it's like a homeless guy jerking off on the side of a building. I am not acknowledging his power. I just don't want to look at homeless dick.
I'm acknowledging my actual caution around somebody who's either dangerous or, like, gross.
So she's still taking care of him and his, like, malaria feverishness.
And she fucking loves it, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
she
she
is
does.
so into it. She's, like, wetting down sheets, and I mean, she's playing Florence Nightingale like it is like the March Sisters, all right?
She's still, like, doting on this jabroni, and he starts asking her about the other men in her life. And when she tells him, he's, like, starts slut-shaming her.
It's so gross. It's so fucking gross, y'all.
And so he's telling her that her plan to catch the Ghostbusters is stupid.
It is stupid. To be fair. But he doesn't sit down with her and go over the plan and tell her why it's stupid.
But the other thing is, like, she starts acting, like, really meek to not upset him in his injured state.
Yeah.
Like, that's a deliberate choice that she makes.
Ugh. Barf. Double barf.
So, eventually he says if she's gonna go, he's gonna go with her. He says this while he's wearing, like, a ratty-ass brown bathrobe and briefs.
It is the best worst thing in the world.
Like, this is
the outfit of the book, by the way.
This is, like, the abuser, like... I feel like that's what the
but
abuser starter pack outfit
She's
does.
all like, oh, those tidy whities. Like, she can't take her eyes off the fact that he's in his horrible underpants.
Like, and then they keep mentioning about how she's afraid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Which I found really, really worrying and upsetting.
Yeah.
And, again, like, this motherfucker is the horniest person who has ever had malaria. Like...
Not malaria. It's a filaria.
Romance novel malaria.
The weird thing is, like, why isn't it just malaria? Because as I understand it, malaria can come.
But I was like,
like that.
I was like, malaria is not copyrighted. You could say malaria. I don't know why it has to be a malaria-like thing. Like, malaria is malaria.
Well, so the way that it works, I should probably tell you, is that every so often it comes back, he has this terrible fever, and he has drugs for the pain that he doesn't want to take. But not because he's, like, afraid of getting, like,
but he only has the malaria episode once, so, like... It never really comes up.
He thinks he's going to have it again.
Oh
it's
my God.
Thing. But I mean, like, it's not that he's, like, afraid of being dependent on the drugs, which I couldn't understand. It's afraid of being weak. I'm not going to take a pill.
Yeah, he's not going to be weak.
I'm too much of a man to take a pill.
He, like, orders her to pack his clothes.
Yeah, like, completely casually. Like, pack that shit up, bitch. If you insist on going, then get to packing.
Alright, so he makes this miraculous cover from his filaria and is looking good to Anne, which depresses her. Because she believes it's due to him, like, getting back to work and not because of her, like, healing touch. And so Julian wears the outfit on the cover. He wears, like, a grayish sweater, jeans, and boots. And she's in a, like, grandma nightgown.
I have to admit, I like a dude in a sweater. And I love, by the way, that what she brought to Colorado is her, like, really heavy Laura Ingalls Wilder flannel nightie. That is also my jam. Like, why is everything in this amazing except for the biggest thing in this
oh my God,
thing?
okay.
You should see my flannel. You know, I do have a flannel nightie, but my best flannel... You're going to love it.
That is the most on-brand thing for you.
No. This is more on-brand. I have Costco pajamas, and I don't mean I have pajamas that I bought at Costco. Although they did buy them at Costco. They are Costco pajamas. Like, they have seams from Costco on them. One of them is like a lady with a giant flat of toilet paper.
I can't with you.
It's like a sample, people.
I can't.
And they're really nice too. They even have a place where you can snap, if you're like taller, you can snap up the leg a little bit. Like, they're the nicest flannel pajamas. But they have that thing because they're like the button down. And the buttons will just like let go in the night. So you wake up with a titty out. But I can't not wear them because they're Costco pajamas. See, half of y'all are excited now and want to know where I got my Costco pajamas, and the other half are making Courtney's face.
Spoiler, they came from Costco.
But you can't get them because that was last year.
Okay,
Suckers.
So, alright. So Julian got fired from his, I will call it the CIA, or like
by the way, he's 40.
Yeah.
And, he's all like, I'm so washed up
Well,
at
they
40.
said that's why, is that he got fired for basically being 40. I was like, you know that everybody in the CIA is like automatically fucking 40.
That is the best thing about this book, though, is the only one time I've ever heard a man being afraid that he's become obsolete and too old at 40. That is, like, quite frankly,
it's
my
like he
dream.
went to like the Lethal Weapon school of I'm too old for this shit, but like he's not as charming.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's our age.
So this motherfucker then asks Anne to fuck him in exchange for services rendered, and she finally gets mad. Like, she finally gets mad.
Finally.
So their plan is to lure the Ghostbusters in with the story about a real ghost, a Spanish señorita. So the plan is they're going to work with some old eccentric lady that owns a house in California. And they're going to lure the thieves to her mansion and set up surveillance to trap the robbers.
And the ghost is real. I
Yeah,
mean, well,
the
like the rumored ghost is totally real. All this is real except that they're not actually related to this lady.
Julian is, of course, berating the idea. And then he tells Anne that she's bossy and she always gets her way. And that Julian is going to be her fake fiance because this is a romance.
Oh, wait, let's back that up a bit and, say that the thing that she talks about when they're talking about having done it is that he's still mad about the fact that 6 months ago, like the big thing 6 months ago, was that he asked her if she wanted to get down and do a one-night stand, and she said no. So, in other words, he's punishing her for refusing to have sex with him.
Yeah.
A practical stranger 6 months ago.
Jesus.
Like, that is the whole foundation for this. Oh my god, I want to fucking barf.
I know. So the real ghost, the ghost that they're basing all of this on, was murdered because she was forced into marrying an old man and she stepped out on him. The husband finds out and kills her. Julian is then like, hey, I get it. If my lady stepped out on me, and if it was you, I would beat you, but I might not kill you.
To her face, and he's serious, and he's like telling a joke, like a serious joke. Like a hearty heart, not really.
Oh my
god, I want to kill these people so bad.
So the mansion is bananas.
It's amazing, and I love it so much.
Yeah, so like...
It's not the original house that Carlotta is from.
No, so like all the bedrooms look like scenes from a movie, and Anne is like super excited, and she wants to sleep in the Sheik's tent from a Valentino movie, and then Julian has to ruin it by being Julian. And it's like, hey, you sure you don't want to fuck me for help? So she slaps him, so I was like, thank God.
Oh, thank God, that was the best thing that happened in
But
this
then
whole life.
he does a storm out. He does a storm out after basically insinuating that she is a prostitute, and it was like,
but he storms out to, they have a Jack and Jill bathroom, and then he storms out into his little cowboy western room, which is hilarious. Like, boom, 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 slam, who.
So, I was like, his room is western themed, but don't worry, he's still planning on being a creep by walking in on her in the shower. Like,
he's got a whole plan for
He's
this.
got this, like, 15-part plan to wear this woman down for sex. Like,
barf.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I hate him so much. Okay. So, then the other thing that's happening, and again, this is a 200-page book. The other thing that is happening in this stupid-ass book is, at one point, you have this man who is sexually harassing this woman, that is acting like the villain of an 80s teen tits comedy. Like, that is what I feel like he should be in Hot Dog the movie. Like, I hate him so much.
Mm-hmm. He is absolutely. But the thing is, he's a grown-ass man. Those are teenage boys.
So okay. But the other thing that he is doing is he's all like wondering why Anne is not disgusted by his illness and injuries.
And you know, that's supposed to be where you feel like that you have empathy for him because he's grossed out by himself.
I guess. I mean, it's just, I think if this... And
he thinks he's valueless. He's a 40.
We'll get more into the psychosis of this book later. But Anne, like you said earlier, keeps, like, describing him as, like, a lion, and he's injured, blah, 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 blah.
He's got a scar in his thigh, but let's say butt.
So she keeps, like, making excuses for his behavior, is what she's doing.
Absolutely.
So
gross.
Real ghost alert. Anne is asleep. And then all of a sudden, like, she wakes up and it's very cold. And there's a lady in an old-timey riding outfit. And Anne screams for Julian. The ghost is like, I got shit to say to you. And...
Don't get him in here. He's a fat sack full of fucking dicks.
So,
girl!
He's not terrible.
Girl, you in danger.
He's not terrible to her after the ghost. Like, he comforts her.
No, actually, he's surprisingly sweet. Yeah.
But then he does talk about beating her again.
Yeah,
so,
So. But I mean, he is actually surprisingly sweet. Like, he doesn't make fun of her or anything. Well, and she says because she actually believes that she had a dream.
So Julian,
I mean, you wouldn't go right to thinking it was a ghost. Yeah.
Julian is legit proud of himself. That even though he wants to bang her, he can be a normal fucking human and console her. Like, he's proud of himself for not taking advantage of her.
He absolutely prints out a certificate for himself.
Like,
Julian is best boy.
Like, way not to rape her. Like, are you fucking kidding me with this guy?
Yes.
Like, okay. Oh my God. But, so he's talking about that, like, well, maybe I have human emotions. But he still thinks about the fact that he was able to fuck her right before his malaria, episode. He's like, I still got it. Like,
Jesus.
Oh my God, what he needs is
so
he needs a little
awful.
red, like, Mazda Miata and a Fine Young Cannibal CD, like, tape. Like, I feel like he's having this midlife crisis. Okay, so there's a sassy maid, but...
Housekeeper. It's not like she's not like living, alright?
I put sassy fat maid. I mean, she wasn't fat, but they let us know that her jeans were tight.
Oh, yeah.
So...
She's on her, 28th husband?
So, Julian all of a sudden acts sort of fun, and Anne's like, what's happening? I was like, I guess he's just,
filling his oats.
But then
Anne
and the sassy maid bully him into eating toast, and then he gets mad about being forced into eating toast. Like, you don't tell me what to do. Don't treat me like a child.
Eat some fucking breakfast, dickbag.
Oh my God, maybe if you had a sandwich, you'd stop being such an asshole.
Maybe it's just fucking blood sugar. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe it is. I mean, maybe he's like having a sugar crash because, God. All right, so the Ghostbusters show up, and there's 3 of them. I didn't bother to learn their names.
One of them, the girl is Sarah.
Sarah, and then
other dudes.
There's 2 dudes. One of them's hot.
There's fuck dude. There's art dude. There's Sarah.
Yeah. So.
And by the way, I remember that because it's Sarah without the H.
So, the one dumbassery thing that happens is, like, Anne is all taken in by the hot one, and Julian actually, like, rightly so says, hey, bitch, like, you got me here because these 3 people are stealing.
Yeah.
And she's like, but he seems so nice. He's like, you know that these 3 people are stealing, right?
They literally tried to kill your brother.
Yeah, like, and she's just not believing it. And I was like...
What is frustrating in this is that, okay, so he is brought into this because he is a CIA agent. He knows how to run operations and shit.
Yeah.
But they don't spend 15 fucking minutes to actually go over weaknesses in the plan, any issues that might come up, contingencies, nothing. Because I can think of 20 things wrong with this plan. The one that they mentioned, which actually weirdly never comes up, is that she keeps the original name. She's pretending to be the niece of the old lady.
Yeah.
But they had given her name as her brother's fiance.
It's so stupid.
The last name, it was Ms. whatever, Nichols or something. And so the thing is, they clearly know who her brother is.
It's basically like
and her dumb fucking bitch.
It's basically like going from being like, my name's not Ann Silver, it's Ann Gold.
Yeah, it's like that, but then that doesn't even what gets them caught because, like, the rest of it, these ghost hunters, big surprise, cat burglars aren't stupid. They do some fucking homework. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a cat burglar. You'd just be like a point your gun in the face burglar.
Oh my God, it's the worst. Okay, so Anne goes to bed. She's mad at Julian for something, and she wakes up, and Julian's, like, just over her bed. And she's like, you need to go. And he's like, nah, I'm not going anywhere. And then she does tell him reasonably. She's like, I don't want to have sex with you for it to be a way for you to have power over me. And he's like,
too fucking late.
He's like, So she describes his hip as muscular, which I found really strange. He has got a muscular hip.
Like, that's exactly the part of you where your bone sticks out, or it used to before I got fat. You know, like, that's not...
And has sex with him. She takes control of the sex.
And it's actually kind of hot, I have to say.
This one wasn't the hot one. There's another hot one for me, at least. This one is the one.
This one's alright.
This one, after she does it with him, she then calls it assault. And I was like...
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, God!
So...
Well, I mean, the thing is, the last one that we read was so unsexy.
Yeah.
That, like, any sex, it was not...
There is some good sex in this. There is some,
no. It's we'll talk about that later. But, I mean, the thing is that the last few that we've read have had it's been slim on the ground, all right? So I've been taking the doing it where I can get the doing it.
So the Ghostbusters decide that there needs to be a seance. They have the seance. Anne's bored.
But she's, like, weirdly...
The ghost keeps trying to, like, communicate with Anne.
She's getting something that nobody else is getting, obviously, because nobody else is responding to the things in their room that she is. I don't know, like, how these microphones are working. What you hear is the dog.
Yeah. So the other dumbassery is, like, Julian has a sore leg from his malaria and, island injury, and he's like, doesn't want to ask Anne to massage it because she will think of him as weak.
She does it once on her own, like, initiative, and
Yeah.
it's, like, super fucking helpful for him. And he's been limping hard and dealing with this for, you would think 10 years, but 6 months. But no. She might think of me as, I might lose, like, a peg in the alpha cribbage set.
So the other thing is, like, Anne goes to sleep. She wakes up. The ghost is being, like, a good bro sis. And it's, like, pointing to Julian's door. And then, like... So Anne goes through there and she sees Sarah the psychic, trying to seduce Julian.
And Sarah's like this, like, very dish rag of she's a white handkerchief of a person, alright? She doesn't have a last name. I always thought that they were gonna, at the end of it, tell you what her last name is. It was gonna be, like, turnip seed.
Yeah.
But they don't. Never mind.
So, Julian insults her, but then actually apologizes. And it seems like he's, like all of a sudden, he has, like, a fucking breakthrough. Like, he apologizes and communicates, and they admit that they trust each other. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he, like, gives her, like, a non-sexual back rub and isn't trying to get anything from her. And so, she's also making these jokes throughout the book about his last name being Aries and wondering if he's an Aries.
Spoiler, you never find the fuck out.
So they have actually, like, they have not awful sex, and, like, he is doing some, like, just the tip work, but, like, in a really hot way. Like,
she goes downtown, but he does not.
Yeah,
but too early for that.
Yeah.
So.
But he is doing, like, some, like, you find out, like, his junk is rubbing up against her, and it was hot. I like that.
Yeah.
So
the sex in this is not bad. Let me put it there.
The next morning, she wakes up and Julian's like, changed man. And Anne is acting all weird. Like,
because she got, like, a ghost visitation.
Uh-huh.
So
I think she's, like, slightly possessed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she can't really help herself. She's drawn to... Did we mention this is, like, a seacoast thing? And that, you can go down a treacherous cliff path.
There's a treacherous cliff.
So she's been, like, super drawn to the treacherous cliff. Not, like, in a jump-off kind of way, but in a, I gotta go to that part of the headland. I gotta go. So she, she's a little bit possessed. And, of course, he takes it fucking personally because it's a dick.
Yeah, so... I have an amazing outfit, but I'll share that for questions.
Oh, yeah, it's good, too, but I actually kind of really like it.
Okay, so there's a second seance. Anne keeps, like, needing to walk to the beach. Like, she just keeps needing to walk to the beach.
The northern tip of the cove or whatever.
So, she's going out for a walk. He comes to get her, and she's like, you're too unwell, which is like, you can't say that to this guy.
Oh, no.
So they have a fight. He lays all of his cards on the table, tells her that he wants her. They continue to fight. It's so tiring. So she goes to sleep alone, and then wakes up and is compelled to go to the beach. While she's out on the beach in the middle of the night, she sees Sarah, the psychic.
Well, is surprised by Sarah, the psychic, with a gun.
Yeah, Sarah, the psychic, has a gun. Sarah has been onto their scheme the whole time. Surprise! Because this thing was, it was foolproof. It was foolproof.
It was absolutely foolproof.
So, she is saying, Sarah's like, hey, I'm going to shoot you, and the two guys are going to take care of Julian. Sarah's marching Anne to the cliff to have her go over.
And of course, what Anne's worried about is fucking Julian.
But then Anne is resourceful and, like, whacks her with a flashlight.
Because Anne realizes that it's super foggy, and so Anne realizes that all she can really see is the flashlight. So she throws, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they go over the side.
They catfight and they roll over the cliff.
I'm imagining just a cloud of dust with, like, arms coming out and kapow and,
Meanwhile, Julian foils the ghost hunter's plot against him and goes looking for Anne. He tries to find, he sees her trying to save Sarah. Because Anne, of course, I'd be like, fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
You're on your own. So Julian goes into the water and...
Julian takes down two of them, so, Anne only gets to take down one of them, but I think she could have done it.
Yeah. So he pulls Sarah and Anne out, and the water's coming up fast, and they have to get to safety.
It's one of those tide things.
And then Anne...
I'm thinking about Oversea Understone if you're my age.
So Anne sees the ghost, Carlotta, and is following her to this little cave.
She's sure that the sea cave gives out, that it will take her to safety.
And it does, yeah. So they find...
Julian trusts her, so,
They find this old box and open it, and it sets Carlotta free. Oh, so they get back to the house and like Anna's pissy over how he handled the people that tried to kill them. I was like, all right, take it down.
Like he tied them up too mean.
Yeah.
But her dumbass obviously didn't read the same book that we did because she is, well, they call the cops. And then she's surprised.
Surprised the sassy maid is in on it.
Which you would have figured out in a heartbeat if you read the book because she was sent by a service and you're like, huh. But then I'm like, wait, would none of the cops or the FBI or whatever have figured out that the same service sent? Maybe everybody in this whole book is stupid. Like, there's been like a stupid virus all over America.
Yeah, that's what the filaria is.
Yeah, it's a dumbass virus.
So they subdue her, like, they get, the cops come.
No, actually, Carlotta subdues her.
Yeah, so, she gets subdued, and Anne tells Julian about how Carlotta helped her, and he believes her, and then he tells her what happens on the mysterious island, that he was captured and tortured.
It's boring, yes.
Yeah. They make love, they admit they love one another, and then they catch a cold together.
Oh.
And we still don't know if his last name, if Julian Aries is actually an Aries. And
womp, womp.
That's the end of this piece of shit book.
Oh my fucking god. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play you a promo for a whole other interesting podcast, and we'll be back in a minute.
Our faces are mere inches away from one another. His breath tickles the side of my neck. I can hear his heart pounding in his chest. I can feel him too. Nestled against each other, the heat of them combined are hotter than the sun beating down on my back. I stared down at him, expecting to see embarrassment or bewilderment in his eyes. Instead, his eyes are dilated, glazed over with want. His cheeks are red, and I notice the way he licks his lips. I want to. We can't.
Fuck Humans, an LGBT erotica podcast. That's Fuck Humans on most podcast apps, but Screw Humans on Apple Podcasts.
And we're back. So, that I had actually never listened to erotica before, and this particular podcast had put out a thing asking if somebody would switch promos, and so I certainly was not going to swap promos with anybody that I could not tell you was a good podcast. So I listened to it because I was like, well, gay dragon fucking is not off-brand for me. And I had never listened to audio erotica before. I've read plenty of erotica, but I've never actually sat down and listened to it before. It did not occur to me that there would be sound effects. And Courtney, there are, in what you've listened to, there are sound effects, right?
Yeah, but I don't listen to it at the gym.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was minding my own business on the leg press.
Yeah.
And there's this dude who's just punching a barrel of mayonnaise.
Yeah.
And it was deeply weird. However, I can tell you that I really did actually enjoy that podcast quite a bit. And that if that sounds even remotely fun to you, that you will probably enjoy it too. Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
So question time. All right, question number 1, which again I feel like we could talk about for hours. Okay. Big dick energy or big dick energy?
Dick.
Oh, this guy's the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst hero that we have ever done.
And the reason, we talked about this, and I think that the reason why he's so bad, A, the book is only 200 pages. If there were 400 pages, he would have had room for his face turn, right? But he didn't. B, in things like this, I'm thinking about Reagan for Captive Passions.
Yeah.
Usually when a guy is turned up to 11 like this, so is the woman, and she is, so also incredibly extra.
Yeah.
But this woman's a regular person. She's just a
Yeah.
research assistant. She's a person. And
Yeah.
he is he's a romance novel person, and she's a person, and that is not cool.
I feel like for all of the book's fantastical elements that we talked about, this book's not really centered in any kind of fantasy realm.
No.
And so I feel like it's more grounded than the other ones we've read, and he's a more grounded character in what some people's reality is, and that's what I found so upsetting about
and that is the Harlequin Temptation line is specifically the new compelling stories of passionate romance for today's woman. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
all contemporary, but they tend to be, in my experience, contemporary.
Yeah.
So it's about things that are supposed to be relatable.
Right. And
That was very disturbing.
Like, I just found his character to be just deeply upsetting.
Yeah. I mean, like, just the casual way in which he was like, pat my clothes.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, like, if a guy is, like, that on you when you say you should eat some breakfast, that is an enormous red flag.
Yeah, so...
An enormous red flag. Oh, my God. If that is happening to you...
I feel like
Jesus.
what he's supposed to be, that he's just not fleshed out enough, is kind of like this, kind of daddy. He's older, and he's what you like, this kind of be like, now, listen to me. I know what's best for you. But where it's written well, I can see the appeal of that kind of person. Like, I can get it.
If given more room,
but
what
what I'm saying is, like, if it's especially written well to where he's never inciting, like, or talking about, like, doing violence to you. Yeah, like... There is something like, if you think about like a Clark Gable It Happened One Night character.
Like, okay, so your plan is stupid. Let me explain why.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll be a little bit paternalistic, but I won't be gross. I'll just be,
pretty much any Cary Grant, any like Clark Gable character.
I definitely felt that the length of the book was a minus here because, of course, when he's supposed to turn into like a bad daddy to a good daddy, right?
Yeah,
but like it happened, like literally it happened one night.
I mean, yeah, I felt like it was like more Stepfather, that terrible that horror movie from the 80s where it was like
touched by your uncle.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Terrible. No, absolutely not. Would you talk shit with or about the heroine? Oh, girl, I wish she would have stood up for herself. Like, she slapped him once, and I was like, yes! But then, like...
I found her to be very, just milquetoast and boring. And
I didn't like her at all. In fact, I would have slapped her, too. He said I would have felt bad about it, because, well, that's going to happen enough to you.
And I feel like she tried to write, some humor in her, and then it was just, him being like, rah! And so it was just always kind of, if she had been doing a lot of, dumb harebrained things where he's, having to carry her out of stuff, again, back to my favorite trope that this is.
Right.
So, like I said, American Dreamer, the other thing that I used to love, was this series that came on called The Scarecrow and Mrs. King. And this is the basis of my love for this. So, a divorcee, played by the best Charlie's Angels, Kate Jackson, she meets up with this spy for a made-up American agency, and she gets sucked into this world of intrigue. And the show is so funny and light. In one of the early episodes, she catches wind to this Cold War spy who is sending instructions out via a cooking show and using recipes. So it's really clever. It's really funny. It's Bruce Boxleitner being hot as shit. And you know what he never does? He never threatens to, slap her. He never threatens to beat her. It's cute and light and frothy. And that's what I feel like she was like, I'm going to write this. And then she couldn't translate a dude. She couldn't translate the girl because the girl's just sort of
there. Yeah. See, I've never read another, as far as I remember, another Jayne and Krentz book. I mean, I read a lot of romance novels, but I don't know what I read. But my understanding is that she always does write this kind of very strong alpha guy.
Yeah, she does, and that's kind of what she's known for, but I feel like he's too.
But in a 400-page book, they could have given you some room to fall in love with him. This was just Robert Forster in an oatmeal heather sweater.
Just being mean, though.
Yeah,
Robert Forster.
Dick.
He's not Robert Forster from Jackie Brown. He's just awful.
Oh,
awful.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, Virginia Woolf or Phyllis Schlafly.
This is a funny one because there's no female friendships in this, but however, I did appreciate that her and Sarah, they weren't fighting over a dude. I mean, they were a little bit, but really it was about fighting over who was going to kill who.
And she has a professional job. She's a research assistant. She and the sister, her brother's fiance are close.
She also has this relationship with a ghost.
Wow,
that is legit, right? I mean, she cares about this woman as a person, and she doesn't take it too seriously, but she doesn't be like reaching nothing either. I don't know. You know, I give it a 50-50, honestly.
Yeah.
She doesn't have like female friends that really show up in the story, but you don't get that in the Harlequins because you only got 200 fucking pages.
Yeah.
You got to be like focused, right?
So bad.
Robin Thicke or Marvin Gaye. It's complicated.
It is. I feel like
he doesn't rape her.
No, and the sex is pretty decent. Like, especially once they like connect emotionally. Like, there is one pretty hot sex scene in there. Like,
there's
that
a couple, frankly. I mean, well, and I might have just been like reaching. Because after the last one, which was like just like completely the opposite of hotness, it was like anti-hot.
But he does like she is always DTF. Like
oh yeah. She'll say she's not, but then she's like boom.
She sees him in his tidy whities. And
it's something about and okay. So I understand it was the 80s. And I, of course, remember the 80s, unlike maybe some of you. But like, when I think about tidy whities, I think about my dad and how if you were to come over to our house after 7:30 at night, it didn't matter who you the fuck were, that was my father's house, and he would be in his tidy whities with his chicken legs hanging out under them. But then when they got too old for proper service, my mother would turn them into like floor wiping rags. And so no matter what time you came to my house, you would see a tidy whitey. It might not be on my father. It might be on the mop bucket.
Sarah's house of tidy whities. God. No, it always, like, you just imagine them, like, losing their elastic and, like, just drooping down. Like,
they had not invented the boxer brief.
Because you know he hasn't bought any in a long time.
Oh, no, because the woman would have to buy them for him.
Because you know they've lost the elasticity where it's just, like it's just got
gray.
That deflated ass where it's just, like, hangs down like a diaper. Like, and then he's in this ratty-ass bathrobe, and, like, she can't say no to it. Like, she just can't say no to it.
I gotta jump on that business, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And I mean, I get that at the time, like, boxers were an old man thing, but come on, a boxer is far better.
I'm gonna bring it back to, again, the way that this is done correctly. The Scarecrow and Mrs. King. Bruce Boxleitner was always hanging out in a nice, clean blue robe, whatever it was, like, around the house. Mm-hmm. Like, again.
Closed. Tied, I bet. It was tied.
You know.
Probably sewn for extra, like, protection.
You guys should watch that show because it's amazing.
I never saw it back in the day. I mean, it was always on. Like, I knew, I was aware of the
favorite thing. Like, it was really clever. Like, it was really, really, really funny and clever. And, like, Kate Jackson's just amazing. It's always, like, because she'd have to go down to the, like, where everybody else, all the other spies were, and you had the one high-maintenance girl who was just like, who is this chick? You know, why is this housewife? And the housewife's making them cookies, and they're just like...
That might be amazing. Yeah.
It's so good.
My parents were old, so we were a Matlock family and a Murder, She Wrote family.
I watched it recently, and it holds up, and it's still, like, as good, if not better. Because, again, that one first episode where she's, like... busting people who were using recipe cards, like, and then she's like trying to fly a helicopter. It's fantastic. So it's
like a Corey T. Spilson of Kazakhstan. Is that like no? I'm sorry. That is a complete absolute. Kazakhstan didn't happen until way later.
Well, it's still Cold War, so you're dealing with that.
Yeah, it's USSR, of course. No, like, see, my revisit thing that I never saw a ton of as a at the time period, but as an adult, Magnum P.I. can get it. And
it was another one, like, I loved it.
Dude, that man has some legs.
And if you think about it, there were a lot of these, like, spunky girl spy movie tropes.
There was a new spunky girl every week in Magnum P.I. though.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like, Jumpin' Jack Flash was another movie that was my fucking jam. Like, spunky girl gets on the computer, is talking to, like, a guy who is, like, with British intelligence. It's, like, when I was 9 years old, I thought that Whoopi Goldberg and Jumpin' Jack Flash was what comedy was. Like, that was the funniest movie that had ever been made to me. So I have loved this stupid, like, trope forever. And so, like, I was so excited for it because it's my favorite thing.
And so you were so offended.
Yeah, I was really upset because, like, usually, like, the thing that works about it is these dudes are sort of, like, obviously they're alpha, but they're, like, type A, grumpy, and, like, and then the girl is just kind of, like, she uses her, like, just everydayness and her sass to, like,
exactly.
She problem solves and she makes it happen, and they're just kind of like...
And, of course, your modern example is the Melissa McCarthy...
Oh, and that's the other one I love.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like you got Jason Statham being this hot ass idiot that keeps fucking it up, and then like she has to fix it.
I say in the post, but let me ruin it for you again. My husband ruined Jason Statham for me for all time because he pointed out that somebody else had said, it wasn't even him, that Jason Statham looks like a porn parody live-action Homer Simpson, and I cannot look at him ever again, and it is 100% match.
More of him for me,
bad.
because I love him so much. I love him, and he's apparently like one of the nicest dudes in Hollywood. Like, he's just really cool.
I can't get over it. Okay, so how badly are you judging your mama for reading this?
She probably would have had one like this. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because you read it for about 30 minutes. I mean, it's 200 fucking pages. That's a lunch break plus 2. You know, if you take your lunch break and nobody's looking and you just keep on taking your lunch break, that's,
oh my god, it's
that's
so,
what that
like...
is. Most of it, that thing is 95% of it. If I were to explain this book to you without dwelling on this dude, you'd be like, that sounds amazing.
Yes, like, it's such a fun idea and a fun thing, but then it just turns into this terrible...
fart noise.
Yeah.
If it wasn't clear that I made the fart noise, I made like the wave fart noise.
Okay. Would Scarlett Johansson be in the movie?
Well, there is opportunities for racism. Actually, the funny thing is, because the ghost hunters can't see the actual ghost, that they assume that she's like, if I said sad Mexican lady, like she's like an Amentia, and but she's not.
Yeah.
Like
she's in this riding habit.
Yeah, like Anna sees her as a person.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I'm not saying that it's either not or
you at least have somebody of another. Like a different, I don't know, like...
Because most of these are like, well, it's kind of racist because there's no people of any other race but white.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is a brown person in this. I mean, she's dead and murdered by a white person, so that's not great. But, I mean, she is there and she's counted as a human being. So I would give it, like, one more point than those ones.
Yeah, like...
everybody in the world is white.
It was like a half a point.
Yeah, half a point. Like, just a little... We'll move the bar a tick, you know.
Okay, you're not leaving the house looking like that.
The outfit of the book has gotta be.
Okay, so there's like one, they describe like, again, his outfits of sweaters and things. We get an outfit, and it is bananas.
I love it so hard. It is so me.
So she is wearing olive drab trousers and a matching designer version of a military style shirt with a wide leather belt and short cuff boots.
Baller! Although, I wonder if that, like, thinking now... And
so she's dressed like Gaddafi, basically. Like, early era Gaddafi.
But you realize that, like, I now think that, like, oh, so to her that's a game, but to him that is, like, life in his career.
I don't know. Like, I think it was, like...
loved it. I love that.
All I could think of, like... Yeah, I remember seeing.
But I'm adding like a modern take on that, and it was not a modern take. It was like shoulder pads to here and there.
Not a modern.
That's
take.
her like clamber down the cliff outfit.
Yeah, this is her gonna fight some crime, like having to do stuff.
But she's got like on top of that, she just puts like her parka. It's red. That's all I remember about it. But no, the outfit of the fucking book is not that. It is the old brown terry cloth robe over the tidy whities. That is the indelible.
God, he's always in that too. It's like she packed that fucking robe.
Well, hilariously, like she
should have burned that robe.
He had a plan that he was gonna see her like naked in the bathroom, but she keeps on walking in on him.
I know, like it's a lot of like her walking in on his muscular
But he's
hip.
very sensitive about his scars,
Yeah.
which you would think a CIA dude would be like, yes, God.
It's like any kind of like weird, like mark or anything makes him less than perfect. I'm like,
oh my God, he's the worst. He's the absolute worst.
God, he's awful. I hated him so much.
Would your 12-year-old self have dog-eared any pages?
Yes, so much, yes. Like there was, again.
The doing it was alright.
A lot of it, like some of it was like fairly flowery in description, but like again, when he's like doing his just the tip situation, it was like, it wasn't like, let me put the tip in. Like it was like some actual like tip foreplay, and I was like, all right, I'm here for this.
Some
like
edging, I guess we could say.
Yeah, edging. Yeah. I was like, sign me up. Like that was hot. And
it was not super explicit, but it was okay explicit.
But you knew, like, you know, like you got penis,
really
doing
it. Yeah. But there was one sex scene, I don't remember what it was, but it was the kind of thing where, like, you're kind of keeping track of your mind on where these people are.
Yes.
And you're like, what? Wait, no, she's How is her? Does she have two mouths? You know.
It's a thing in romance novels where people will all of a sudden be standing up, and then like the next description will be like her like giving oral, and you're like, how did she get down there? Like,
where are his hands? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't like. I need you to tell me. I need you to give me a roadmap. Like, I can't just have somebody being like, hey, all of a sudden my mouth is at your penis, and I don't know how you got there.
Yeah.
Like, I need that continuity in my romance novels.
And there is some pretty hot fingering, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, the fingering action is A+ in this.
Yeah.
Which made me even more disappointed in the fucking dude.
Yeah.
Barf.
Like, he's apparently not terrible at sex because, you know, he can, like, lay it down when he's in a Valeria episode.
like, he literally tries to die 5 seconds after he lays some pipe and he lays it down.
I mean, and again, I feel like he's this really poorly flushed out daddy type.
I heard that it's flushed out and I like that better.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, like...
Yeah, because, I mean, I get that archetype, and I like that archetype if it's well done.
Like, sometimes...
And we haven't had one of those that's good. We have not had a good, like, older man who's, like, that
I'm in control.
Type.
Like, and and I especially get the appeal for that. Like, especially, like, someone who is a housewife that's, like, would be reading this book in 1984 and is like, oh my god, I need a fucking break.
He's supposed to be a CIA agent. He's supposed to be hyper competent. He's not so much... okay, so this is great. How they figure out that... I mean, they could have figured it out 1,000 ways, but that this was a trap was that they were like, yeah, we looked to see if that lady had a niece and she fucking doesn't. Like, you fucking moron! That's public fucking record. Okay, it's not as easy to find as it is today, but I'm a goddamn librarian. I could have figured that out in about 30 fucking minutes.
And she's a librarian. She should know better.
Yes!
My other favorite thing about this is, like, he just won't let her drive anywhere. So, basically, Julian Aries, we can attest, is like an old Italian man. Like, just like, you can't drive the car. You can't. You gotta get in the back. You know, like...
It's the Cadillac. I waited 1,000 years to buy a Cadillac.
God, he's just so terrible.
He's so bad, and I cannot stress enough, if you have not looked at the cover, how much he looks like Robert Forster. So his hair is like a topiary.
Yeah. It's like Robert Forster, but with like, if you look, there's like a hint of John Saxon. And I feel like it was like, the other thing about
I'm looking at what John Saxon looks like.
The other thing about it that irritates me is it's like, I know we have our Robin Thicke question, but it's like they decided, what if we made Alan Thicke an asshole and put him on a romance cover? Like, he's very sitcom dad. And
that's the thing that they keep thinking is funny, is the other thing.
Yeah.
They think it's like, but Tish, wait for the laugh track. And it's not funny.
No, and you know, here's the thing, like, but again, I know people who love Jayne and Krentz novels, so...
We'll read another one. We will read, like, a solid length, not a Harlequin one of hers before. We'll read, like, what... Actually, no. We will ask you to pick one for us.
Yeah.
Audience participation.
You guys tell us which one we should do, because...
I see you trembling into Patient, tell us what is the good Jayne and Krentz novel.
Yeah.
But it's got to be before 1990 because we are trying to stick to our original thing. Yeah. So what pairs nicely with the dumpster fire? It's got to be brandy again. They're doing the brandy. It's like so much fucking brandy.
I'd say brandy or a broken Miller High Life,
like
laying on the
garbage.
floor, like around people who are crying and the police are there because.
Oh Lord, are we drinking Seagram's? Ice again.
Again, Miller High Life. The bottle's been broken because he finally had enough.
No, what is that grain alcohol? Like whatever ice. Smirnoff Ice. We're drinking Smirnoff Ice because we're 21 and we don't know any better.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. Although I kind of want a Smirnoff Ice right now. Not really. If I had one, I'd be like, oh, this is disgusting.
Again, y'all.
I want my memory of a Smirnoff Ice.
If I could, like... I am so angry at this book. If if I could go and be on that MTV Catfish show and like go and confront this book at its doorstep and say that you're a liar, if I could slap this book in the face, if I could like Real Housewives of Orange County like throw Chardonnay and just tell it that it's a duplicitous bitch, I would do it because I was so excited for this book.
Do you think they know the word duplicitous?
I was so excited for this book. I was like, yes, we're finally getting fun spy trope. Courtney is locked and loaded in. This is going to be hot, fun ass nonsense. And it was just fucking hot nonsense in the worst way.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad run for a bit.
Yeah.
Because we were on weird ones for a while. For Courtney is 40. And then we read that Joanna Lindsay book, which was just kind of like a overly dense biscuit that you had to eat anyway. Yeah. And then there's this fucking shit.
Like, I was so excited for this one. I was so excited. And it
should have been so good.
Like, I got catfished.
You know what? I rated 0 Scooby snacks.
No. Yeah. Like, you know what it is? It's fucking Scrappy-Doo is what it is.
Oh, wow. That's a strong word.
It's Scrappy-Doo. It's the Scrappy-Doo edition. Like,
my husband will point out that yes, Scrappy is terrible, but at least they tried to do something new. They didn't even do that with this.
No. God. Julian Aries is all-time worst. All-time worst.
And I don't know. I think it tarnishes. I don't know what kind of person Robert Forster was. I feel that it tarnishes Robert Forster.
I feel like my new gauge of these books and their heroes is gonna be Matthew Cutter to Julian Aries. Like,
no. It is not as bad as, I forget, Brandon from The Flame of the Flower.
I hate him more. For me, I hate him more.
This dude actually raped her, so that makes him worse to me. And also, he completely deleted slavery. So, no. I'm going to hate that guy more, but that's my second worst guy is Julian Aries.
I hate him so much. So, yeah. Don't read this book. It became a horror situation in not the way that we thought. We thought we were going to have fun spooky, and what we got was just a nightmare.
Nah, I totally agreed. But, on the other hand, if you enjoyed this and you'd like to see our show notes, you should go to bodysplish.com. And if you are thinking that we are the most amazing people in the world, even though we are trying out this new microphone setup and this is probably a terrible podcast, we are incredibly grateful to those of you who have already went and signed up for our Patreon. I thought that was going to be a waste of our time, but you actually love us. That's amazing. If you were like, I want to be in on this amazing shit, then you should, go to bodysplish.com. There's a link, or you can go to patreon.com/bodystipplers if you would love to sign up and support more shows like this.
Hopefully they'll be more fun about better dudes.
We'll look forward to November, which is always going to be our Thanksgiving month. And we got a Thanksgiving surprise.
Woo!